Hey guys, Tony here, and I'm back. It's been a long time, man. Went by fast. It's been over a month since I posted that last video, and it seemed like the other day. Maybe because it was so long. Today is gonna be no exception. Well, I'm gonna do my best to try and make this as short as possible, but there's a lot here, and I will tell you too, it's not all of it. My locals, a lot of this is Psych, but not all of it. I got some pretty amazing things in here. My local store has been getting in just some of the most amazing like Psych albums. The kind of things where they're like priced and so well you just can't leave them there, you know? So a lot of this is Psych, but not all of it. Some really great stuff in here. And I'm hesitant to name this another monster video, but I wasn't even trying to compete with that last video, but I have, I guess. I'll leave it up to you to decide which one is better. But if you haven't watched that last video, I know it's long, but I think it's one of my best videos, and it's, you know, as far as the quality of the records, that is. Anyway, let me get started. It was just Thanksgiving and then Black Friday. Yesterday was Black Friday. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody in the States. Black Friday, I wasn't planning on going out. My local store has a sale all weekend, and they start at 6 a.m. Black Friday. And I wasn't really going to go in the morning, but I just happened to fall asleep out here on the couch, and I woke up at 5:30, so I said, what the hell, I'll go. So I just got up, you know, and went, basically, and got a few things that I was kind of interested in. There wasn't much, you know, but yes, so I'll show some of those throughout. But let me get started. There's a lot here to show you. I'm going to try not to get stuck on any one thing. A couple things here I'm definitely going to talk about, but anyway. So where do I begin here? I also went to a record fair a few weeks ago. Again, all this stuff is from the last month or so. But anyway, found some amazing stuff at that record fair too. This was from Black Friday. I haven't listened to it yet, but was glad to get it. The Mothers of Invention. Repress of the 1967 single of Why Don't You Do Me Right and Big Leg Emma. So that's a cool thing they put out. I have number 2398, if you can see that. But yeah, cool to get that. And another one I haven't listened to yet from Black Friday is the Grateful Dead release, the Grateful Dead Live at the Winterland. This looks good. Looks really well done, but can't say anything about it. It's from 1971, so I love the Dead. So that was a cool score. All right, so I'll start with a 10-inch here. This was a cool find. Now it's a 10-inch of the band Suicide and Bruce Springsteen. So what is this actually called? It's Bruce Springsteen and Suicide. They both do Dream Baby Dream. Now, I didn't know this, but Fred told me when I posted a Suicide album that Springsteen was a big fan of Suicide, and his Nebraska album was really influenced by Suicide. Sort of that minimalist, sort of sparse, spooky sound, you know? But yeah, this was a cool score. This was pressed twice in limited editions, I think of 4,000. Released in 2008. On Blast First Petite, and this is one of the first pressings. I was confused because it said it was numbered. It says 2008 here, but that's the number. It was also released in 2008, and it kind of screwed me up. But cool 10-inch. Definitely happy to get that. And a few things here are things I already have, but like original copies to replace the reissues. And this is one of them, and this was a cool score. Suicide. The Sound. Jesus. Jeopardy. An original press. Really happy to get this in just beautiful shape. I'll show you the label here. In mint shape for like 15 bucks at that record show. I couldn't leave it. What is the label? Here's the inner sleeve. Corovia Records. What is this, an American pressing? Not sure. 1980. Still beautiful. And so happy to get it. If you watch Mike Bostonian Reggie's video, I gave him the reissue that I bought. I saw it there. I'm like, I just bought the reissue, you know? But I wasn't going to leave that, you know? So there's a few things like that in here where I had a reissue, saw an original that you don't usually see for a really good price and grabbed it. I also picked this up, Nuggets, the reissue. Really well done. Legendary Nuggets compilation of early Psych from 1965 to 68, put together by Lenny Kaye. Excellent. Really glad they reissued this 2 LP set. Excellent. Alright, I'm gonna start moving quicker here. I'm already at 5 minutes. Found this, another original that to replace my reissue. Fairport Conventions, Legion Leaf, yeah. And it's this radio promo, I guess. Doesn't say promo on it, but somebody used it for airplay and they marked down the times on the sheet of paper and they used tape to go around it. I've debated trying maybe to cut the paper out, but I may just leave it. I don't know. Other than that, it's in beautiful shape. Got it for cheap because of that, you know. So cool to pick up an original of that. Picked up reissue of Skull Snaps, the sort of soul funk band. They released this one album really and kind of disappeared. Not sure where these guys were from, but this is excellent. Really, really good funky stuff. Finally found this at the record show. I've been after this forever. Terry Reid's River. This has been talked about amazingly. I picked it up and then I think Earl of Suave talked about it. Somebody else I think talked about it. And I was like, I just found that, you know, and this is an original. I should take the sleeves off, huh? An original pressing on Atlantic. Really happy to get this in really nice shape for, I think I paid maybe $5. There's another cool one too. Fred, this is I know you're a fan of this record. Serge Gainsbourg, Love on the Beat. Found this at my local store for it was $20. It sat there for a while and I'm like, you know what, I'll grab it. And it is a promo copy. You see here, promotional only, U.S. pressing, 1984. I know a lot of the tracks on here. If I wasn't already acquainted with a lot of the songs from the compilation that Fred sent me and really know them well, I probably wouldn't like this at first. But because I kind of knew them and was used to them and everything, I'm really happy to get this. It's excellent. Sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, sort of dancey sort of stuff. But yeah, cool. Very happy to get that. They reissued, I wasn't sure. At first I thought it was just an original that was found, but they reissued this like 500 only or 1,000 only or something. But Beak, the band Beak, their first album, really different from their new one. Much more kind of heavier, dronier at times, but still excellent stuff. Really happy to get this. It is a gatefold, 2 LPs. And yeah, reissue. It is on red vinyl, I think. Yeah, red vinyl. If you can, I'm not gonna pull it all out. This one I gotta thank Mike Bostonian Reggie for picking this up for me. I've been after this album forever, and I see this guy's albums all the time, but I've never ever seen this in the wild. Like, just never saw it. It's the kind of thing where you could probably get it pretty easily online, but I never did. I don't know why, it just never happened. But Loudon Wainwright III's album 2. Love this guy. I have maybe 3 other albums of his. Really happy to get this one. It's fantastic singer-songwriter stuff. Killer. In beautiful shape, so thank you, Mike. Jeff, Glowing Cabbage, I gotta make a thank you video to him. But I sent him a package. One of them was this LP. I found an original of it. Haru Boo's The Modern Dance for $7 in beautiful shape. Has the clip corner, but so wasn't gonna leave this for $7. Found a copy of Public Image Limited Live in Tokyo, 2 LPs. Found that in a store I usually don't go to. Grabbed it, said what the hell, happy to get that one. But this one I was really happy to get because I never see it. I don't think this was ever released in the United States on vinyl. But first issue, Public Image Limited. on Virgin Records, 1979, 78, 78 Virgin Records. Excellent. Really happy to get this for $10. Cool stuff. Like I said, moving quick. Another original I have to replace a reissue. Gang of Four's Entertainment. Found this at the record show as well. And it's a promo copy. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of wear on the cover, but the LP is really nice. Classic post-punk. But yeah, it's a promo. Happy to get that. I picked up this comp, Joe Zawinul. Concerto retitled. Excellent stuff. Most people know Joe Zawinul for playing with Miles Davis in a Silent Way. That's his song. He wrote it. But this is a comp. Most of it is actually not really fusion-y. Most of it's sort of, you know, hard bop, post bop. But yeah, excellent. Found this also at the record show for $5. Leonard Cohen's "I'm Your Man," and this is a Canadian press. Yeah, Canadian press from like Quebec, or some of it's in French down here. So, but yeah, it is a Canadian pressing. So that's cool. I mean, Leonard Cohen, of course, is Canadian. Happy to get that one finally. This is another one from that record show, House of Love. Killer British alternative rock, indie rock, sort of neo psych dream pop at times. This is a U.S. pressing, licensed. This is on it's on Relativity Records, licensed from Creation. Really happy to get this one. Excellent. Trying to move quick. I do apologize, but I have no choice. Finally picked this up. Tim Hardin's album 2. For like a week, I kept hearing different versions of "If I Were a Carpenter." And I kind of realized, like, I really like that song, but I didn't have it in any capacity. And the 2 or 3 versions I heard, none of them were by Tim Hardin, and it's his track. And this was at my local store. I said, what the hell, I gotta grab it. Now, they also had a mono copy of this, which I don't know why, it was actually $2 cheaper. And I grabbed the stereo copy. The mono copy, I think, is much rarer, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, either way, it's a beautiful shape. Tim Hardin. This is a reissue. Love this band. Now we're really going to get into the Psych here. Crazy stuff here. But this is a reissue, Chocolate Watch Band. No Way Out. I think their first album. Garagey, Psych. Absolutely essential. Really happy to get that. Picked this up an original on Cadet Concept. Rotary Connection. I believe their first album. Really sort of symphonic soul psych sort of stuff. It's really interesting. I have another Rotary Connection album, but yeah, happy to get that. This one I saw at my store, passed on it a few times. Sort of the cover. The record too is probably like VG plus. I mean, a little bit of noise, and the cover's got some wear. But I said, what the hell? I'd grab it. Beaver and Krause. Gandharva. I don't know. This is sort of hit and miss. The parts on it that are good are really good, and the parts on it that aren't kind of suck. But happy to get it. Sort of psych, early electronic, avant-garde at times. There's like some gospel-y parts in here too. But yeah, it's still a very cool album. Who plays on this? Mike Bloomfield plays on this. Cool stuff. I saw Nathan show this recently. This is an album actually I've been after for a long time. I could never find it. You'd think you'd find it easier because it's not really rare. But could never find it, and found a mint copy at my local store. I should say most of everything I'm showing was found locally, with the exception of a few things, which I'll point out. But John Mayall, Blues from Laurel Canyon. Classic blues, mostly blues psyche album on London Records. Could never find this, and this is like the one John Mayall album I really wanted. Excellent stuff. Really happy to get a copy of this. Here's another Psych comp, which never heard of before. Saw it in the store and said, what the hell? Apparently this is pretty rare as well, but it's called Psychotic Moose and the Soul Searchers. Total garage psych comp. I guess you can't, this is pretty hard to find. I didn't know, I just bought it at the store and looked it up, and kind of hard to get. But yeah, Psychotic Moose Records 101. Nathan, I thought you'd love this cover. Cool stuff. So Moby Grape here. Moby Grapes, this one is Wow. And sold together with Wow, I should say, or given away free with it, is Grape Jam. Moby Grape, the Psyche blues sort of thing. Really happy to get these albums. I'd say these are pretty essential in any Psych collection. Both of them. Cool stuff. Finally found a copy of Traffic's Dear Mr. Fantasy. This is a reissue from the 80s, a US pressing on Island Records, titled Dear Mr. Fantasy. Usually the US pressing is, what is that title? Heaven is in Your Mind? Something like that. We have this one, same album, titled Dear Mr. Fantasy, like the British pressing. Happy to get that. This is a cool find as well. Screamin' Jay Hawkins, an original. Screamin' Jay Hawkins, you know, sort of a soul, blues, funky kind of singer, you know. An original, self-titled. I want to say it's like his third album on Phillips in mint shape. Really happy to get it. It was $20. I said, what the hell, I'd grab it. I think this one's kind of hard to come by as well, but happy to get that. Found a really nice copy for just a few dollars, really. The Who's Magic Bus. In beautiful shape. An original on the Decca label. Really happy to get that. What do we had? 16 minutes? Alright, I'm doing good. Classic Who. Love that cover. A lot of cool covers here, obviously with this, all this Psych, you know. This is a cool score as well. It is on, hold on. It is Strawberry Alarm Clocks, Good Morning Starshine. And this is probably like their 4th or 5th album. Really, really good, surprisingly good. And I guess this one's kind of hard to come by too. It is on the Uni label. But yeah, happy to get that. Strawberry Alarm Clock. A couple of Van Morrison records here. Again, all these were found at my local store. Van Morrison, Vide on Fleece. Excellent, excellent stuff. Can't go wrong here. An original pressing. Has a textured cover. Really, don't see this one very often. And even more rare than this one, which I've never seen before in the store. It's Van Morrison's Blowing Your Mind. Now this is like his first, I want to say it was like his first solo album, but it was kind of put together by, I want to say like different things he recorded, singles, and has Brown Eyed Girl on it. Really without his permission, and he absolutely hated this cover. He wanted nothing to do with the psychedelic movement, and here they sort of make it like this Psych cover. In the photo of him, he's all sweaty. He hated this. Was really not happy with it. But this is a near mint shape. The label it's on is on Bang Records. It's an original, just in beautiful shape. Really happy to get this one. Features the current hit Brown Eyed Girl. Cool stuff. Now here's an interesting one. I'd love to find this band's first album, but to find this too is pretty cool. Now the band's name is called Dave D, Dozy, Beaky, Mick, and Tish. And sort of a British pop, psych, folk tinged outfit here. They were mentioned in a movie, Quentin Tarantino, Death Proof. That scene, that horrible car crash scene. They're listening to a song by this, and they're talking about the name of the band, and you know that dialogue that Quentin Tarantino is so famous for. And they're talking about this band, and they get into the car accident. And I'd love to find their first album, but this is cool. Again, beautiful shape on Imperial Records, Liberty Imperial. So very cool to get this. Their second or third album, this is. I want to say their third. Gotta change the music. Give me a minute here. I'm not doing any editing on this, so I'll flip this over. I'm going to mention what we're listening to. All right. Some more Psych here. Some cool stuff. This is excellent. Now, some people say this is sort of a failed thing, and I highly disagree. I think this is probably a pretty essential Psych album. And to find it, again, I've never seen this before. The Electric Prunes, Mass in F minor. Now, I knew some of the music on this from Easy Rider. One of the songs here is featured very prominently in the movie. And what it was composed all by David Axelrod. If you could see that. And it's excellent. It's all like things from, I want to say, a religious mass and songs, but done in like a psychedelic rock way. It's really, really good. The song, what is it? Which one is it? I forget which one, but it's all sung in Latin, sort of chanting, but it's excellent, especially side 2, killer, and it is an original. Reprise, the tricolor Reprise label, in beautiful shape. Really happy to get this one. I really got to do a Psych collection video because this stuff I've been getting, especially in the last video too, just, you know, really good stuff. This was interesting. A record I bought along with this is even more interesting, but from the same collection, they gotta be. And I think it's from the same collection where I scored that Frank Zappa Freak Out, from the same people. I've talked about them. In my local store, I don't know much about this, but maybe one of you do. It is on the Verve Forecast label. I guess this band was discovered by Tom Wilson, the legendary producer. This is called Harumi, Japanese musician. Now this is a really interesting mix of different genres, sort of psyche, loungy, like really interesting. Like I don't know how to describe it, but it's really good for what it is. Sort of a, I don't want to say it's like a Baroque, maybe parts of it are sort of like a Baroque pop sort of thing. Some of it sort of reminds me of like a Frank Sinatra type thing, a loungy sort of thing, mixed with a Psych feel. Look at that cover, huh? On Verve Forecast, obviously an original. I doubt this was ever reissued on vinyl. Look at that artwork, huh? But I don't know too much about this. I know Tom Wilson discovered them and really pushed to have these guys signed to Verve. But super happy to get this. Really cool stuff. This was a cool score. An original to replace a reissue I have. Love's. An original copy of Love to Capo. See, this is like in a mono sleeve, but they put a sticker on it saying stereo. Clip cover, again, near mint shape. In the original Electra sleeve. And the gold Electra label. Very happy to get this. Cool stuff. Let's see if I can get it back in the sleeve here. Classic, you know, Psych. I mean, Love is about as essential as it gets as far as Psych goes. Let me put this over here. This is another one I've been after for a while. Never see it. An original copy of Captain Beyond. This I bought online with the 3D cover. If you can see that, sort of like the Stones, their Satanic Majesty. It's pasted on there. It doesn't really come out too well, but heavy Psych, very much in the vein of a maybe a slightly psychier Deep Purple, but excellent, essential. Captain Beyond, really happy to get it. And it is on the, what is the label? Capricorn Records label. Cool stuff. I'm running out of room here. These two are amazing, amazing, amazing. So happy to get this. I love this band. This is Kaleidoscope, and I want to say this is their third album. I think it's called Incredible. It's just Kaleidoscope, but for some reason I think it's actually titled Incredible. An original copy. Excellent, excellent stuff. We're talking about this on the Facebook page, sort of like the American Incredible String Band, sort of a folk psych outfit. They do a thing here on a banjo. It's like, I posted a video. It's like space banjo. It's fantastic. Now I have Beacon from Mars, which is a reissue, but I didn't have this. Really happy to get this one. And even more happy, this is incredible to find this. An original copy of Kaleidoscope's debut sound, Side Trips. Killer. Found in my local store. In near mint shape, really. It is on the yellow, I'm not going to pull it out, I don't have time, the yellow Epic label. In beautiful shape. Fantastic. Essential. About as essential as it gets for Psych. Killer. I'd love to find the original Beacon from Mars, but this is another really incredible Psych score. You don't see this one very often on Senate Records, which is part of ABC Records. Their only album, I'm pretty sure, they probably had a single out as well, but the Bubblegum Machine. Look at that. Very poppy Psych stuff. And this is, in fact, a promo copy, believe it or not. I don't think it's a white label. Oh, it is a white label. Yeah, promotion, not for sale. On Senate Records. Near mint. A lot of this stuff had to come from the same collection because it's just... A lot of these things have been in the store and, like, I passed over them within the same, like, period of a month. And then eventually went back and grabbed them. They were still there. And they were all posted on Discogs. But they still sat there. Went back for this. Very cool. And this one I found at the record show, and another Psych album that I've been after for a long time. I don't know how many albums they put out, but this is the one to get. Ultimate Spinach, Behold and See. This is incredible. Absolutely incredible. From I want to say the Boston area, I think. I see their first album a lot more than I see this. This copy is pristine, like an original, beautiful shape. Stereo copy on MGM. Really happy to get this. Just incredible Psych. Really, really out there at times. Love it. Alright, so that's kind of the last of the Psych stuff. Now we'll get into like the more proggy sort of things. Well, not just prog. Already had almost a half hour. I'm going to move quick here. Vendergraph Generator. How is this actually said? H to he, who am the only one? I don't know. There's probably a different way of saying that. Vendergraph Generator. Really happy to get this one. Found in my local store. I don't think it's an original. Here's the gatefold. Tiny bit of like damage here, like got stuck to it at some point. But what label is this on? Love Vendergraph Generator. A reissue, famous Charisma label, but still, especially find this in a local store. Let me mention what we're listening to, just in case. This is Peter Zumo. Just picked this up yesterday. Zumo with an X. Features Arthur Russell. Peter Zumo is sort of a minimalist composer. I think also a jazz composer as well. The second side, what we were listening to earlier, is amazing. This is where the more minimalist comes in. Yeah, he plays the trombone, obviously. But, yeah, excellent stuff. Figured I'd show that. Let me turn it down a little. Alright. Gotta move quick here. Finally found a copy. Bought this online as well. Caravan's Waterloo Lily. I want to say this is their fourth album. I think it came out after In the Land of Grey and Pink. Also really, really good. I mean, one of their better albums compared to their later stuff. A gatefold. Look at that, huh? This is really good. I love Caravan. Canterbury, Prague. You guys know Caravan. London, U.S. press. Beautiful shape. Yeah, I bought this online. Finally found the copy for a very reasonable price. Some people try and ask a lot for Caravan albums. I've been lucky. I've gotten them all for pretty cheap. But yeah, Waterloo Lily. Let me, excuse me for just a second here. Alright, finally found a copy. These next few are just things that I've wanted forever and could never find. Where did I find them? I bought this online as well. John Martin's Solid Air. Finally found the copy of this. Just fantastic UK folk, but it's just so much more than that. It's just beautiful stuff. John Martin was just amazing. On Island Records. It's a reissue, but it is a UK press on Island. So happy to finally get this. Just that song Solid Air too, just amazing. But the whole album, just put it on and sort of chill out to it. Excellent stuff. This I also found at the the record show. Been after this album for quite a while too. For the price I got it for and for what it is. The good thing about record shows is you could haggle. And I definitely talked most everything I bought, like I talked them down a little bit, if not a lot. But yeah, Herbie Hancock's Mondishi, however you say it, promo copy in beautiful shape. Classic Herbie Hancock fusion, really, really good. And there's a white label promo. Look at that. So happy to get this. Sounds incredible. Just excellent album. This one, again, from my local store, had to have been with that Japanese album and a few other things. This is killer. And what's funny is that an article about this was just published, calling it one of the first bootleg, like the first, how downloading and everything is, pirating stuff has become so commonplace, and this is like the beginning of it, the very first bootleg. Really happy to get this in such beautiful shape too. Great White Wonder. This is the famous Bob Dylan bootleg, the Basement Tapes, where the Basement Tapes came from. Could be said that this played a huge influence on the direction of music, like in the 60s. The Basement Tapes themselves kind of moved away from the whole psychedelic era, moved into a more folky country sort of area, more of a rock area again, sort of back to the roots. Now this was pressed so many times. I think this is one of the later pressings. I think an original of this was just black vinyl with a white label, a blank white label. This one's, they named all the songs incorrectly and named the band incorrectly. It's just sort of probably to throw you, Where was that article published? Just recently I was reading about this album and I found it and I couldn't believe it. Dupree and His Miracle Sound is what they labeled it, if you can see that. And just beautiful shape. Now obviously it's a bootleg. The sound quality is posted on there. The sound quality varies very much at times, but very important album, believe it or not. And it is one of the first, I think the first real bootleg of material, not live material from a studio. Some of it is early material when he was still in the beginnings of just a folky, and the other material is with the band, the Basement Tapes. Killer. So happy to get this. It's a gatefold, but it's blank. Very cool. Magma. Picked up some Magma. Unbelievable. French pressing. I don't know how you say this. It I'm sure it's said completely different. A live Magma album. Now the sound quality on this is like not too good, but still, it's a very cool find. French press on the Tapioca label. You could see that. An original near mint shape for real. But yeah, Magma. Now, to go with that, this I've been after for a while, and you don't see this very often. I did buy this one online. This one I found in the store, in my local store. This one was online. Could not believe it. For the price I got it for. I found like a dream seller. I bought 3 things, which I'm going to show. And for the price I got them for. Not cheap, but very relatively cheap for what they usually go for. Magma. The debut, the first album, double LP, French press. So happy to get this. Just amazing. What do we got here for time? 34 minutes. Got to make this quick. 2 LPs, the very beginnings of Magma, and the whole thing. Much more kind of laid back at times. There's horn section, there's flute section. I open it up, and these fold out, and the record's going here. Very interesting to have a double LP as your debut. Yeah, it is a French pressing on Philips. 2 LPs, near mint, just beautiful, beautiful shape. Found in the States too. That was the thing with this seller. All from the States, which is cool. Now these next 2 are from the same seller. Been after these 2 and just could never find them. This is just amazing. I'm so glad to get this. Popol Vuh's Hosiana Mantra. This is a reissue, and it is on the Pop Import label there. But still, man, you don't see this. This is their 3rd album when they sort of switched from electronic to a much more spiritual acoustic sound. And in the same way, it's sort of like electronic music, but not electronic. Has that same sort of classical, beautiful, beautiful feel. Amazing, amazing stuff. So glad to get this. Same seller I got the Magma from. Gatefold. This was released, I think, in a few different cover variations. And along with that, the 3rd thing I got from that same seller, I'm going kind of out of order. Popol Vuh's Aguirre, soundtrack to the film Aguirre. The Wrath of God. Now this is electronic. Mostly earlier recordings released later on after they had gone basically acoustic. This is an original French pressing on the Cosmic Music label. French press. There's the label. Killer stuff. Just absolutely killer. So happy to get this. You know what? This is going to be... I'm at 37 minutes. A couple things that kind of went out of order here. I usually show the better stuff towards the end. But this is pretty damn good, and I'm so happy to get this. The reissue of Agitation Free's 2nd. Amazing. Amazing album. I am so glad to get this album on vinyl. And for like, $17, you know? Just doesn't... It blows the mind, really. But I'm so glad they reissued these. Of the Agitation Free, this is the better one for sure. Crazy good guitar, just love it. Agitation Free. Here's one that don't know really much about. Harold Glasscoff, synthesist. Beautiful electronic ambient. This guy was in Asherah Temple. Played with Klaus Schultz in Cosmic Jokers. He was the drummer. And they reissued this album, basically rescued it from obscurity. He sort of the original cover is different. It's him painted all silver. But yeah, beautiful stuff. Really happy to get this. Now, of the Krautrock finds, this is the one that I'm like even more ecstatic about than all of those. It's been talked about quite a bit, and the album that's been shown, I got a copy of it in, and I had to return it, but I'm expecting it again. And I wish I had it, but I don't. I'm getting another copy of it in, and I can't wait for it to come. But this blows that album out of the water, I gotta say. Who I'm talking about here is Ikem Reichel. And everybody, Fred just showed The Green Journey. Mike did. And that's the album. I'm expecting a copy of it to come in again. It just played all messed up, and I had to return it, and I'm getting another one. But this is the album that, to me, from what I've heard, I think this just blows away The Green Journey. And this is Ikem Reichel's AR4. Look at that. This is an amazing find. I am so happy to get this album. Again, Krautrock, but much more of like a Euro sort of groove sort of thing going on as well. There are parts of The Green Journey that I thought get kind of annoying with the vocals, but only parts. For the most part, that album is amazing. This isn't so crazy, but it's so damn good. Look this up. I think there's a video of the whole album on YouTube. AR4, an original on Zebra Records. Amazing stuff. Just absolutely fantastic. Wasn't cheap. Was not cheap. But now this album is what held up all of this, because I ordered this 2 days before the Hurricane Sandy, from New Jersey. And it got held up in a post office for weeks. And it took like well over like a month to come. And I was freaking out. But beautiful near mint shape. Just, I'm showing you the label here. I'm sorry. It's going to be long, I guess. You don't have to watch. I don't care. Has the original inner sleeve. The zebra inner sleeve. But it's in this here. Look at that. Zebra Records. One side doesn't say that. Well, you can't really see it, can you? Oh, you can. All right. I was holding it that way. Zebra Records. So happy to get this. Just unbelievably good. If you don't know this album, do check it out. I've seen it really on like lists of essential Krautrock. Just amazing. All right, a couple more things here. The last thing I'm going to show is just Nico. I found an original copy of Nico's The Marble Index. Don't see this very often. An original, just beautiful shape. There's some kind of discoloration going on. Is there? Maybe it's just the album. It kind of looks like the... Yeah, maybe it's just the album, but it's pristine. The Marble Index on the Electra... I'll show you real quick. Gold Electra label. Was really happy to get that. Classic, really avant-garde album. This was a Black Friday score. The Velvet Underground Scepter Studio Sessions. The first album. But to go along with this, which I did post this on Facebook, but to go along with this, but I am absolutely astounded, amazed, so happy to get this. I've always wanted one of these. And to come across this at my local store and for the price that I got it for is just mind-blowing. The Velvet Underground and Nico. Third edition, so without the torso. But an original, there's still, I think anything with the banana sticker is an original technically. Andy Warhol, peel and see, the banana is intact. It's a little bit, it looks like whoever had it owned it at some point, peeled it to about there and put it back. There's a little bit of part of it folding up here. This little piece here. But anyway, pristine. This thing is beautiful. Can't believe it. This pressing goes for a lot of money online. I'll say what I paid for it at my local store. Paid $60 for it. Now, would you leave this there for $60? I hope not. I've always wanted one of these, man. It still has the original Verve inner sleeve on the Verve label. And again, I think this came from the same seller as the Freak Out. Look at that. This copy goes for a lot of money online sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't go for a lot of, $100. But I've seen copies going for like $200 to $300 with the banana intact, the record in near mint shape, or sometimes the cover or the record in VG shape. This thing I would classify as near mint overall, and I'm so happy to get it. They were going to put it out for sale, and I came in right at the right time. It was up on the counter in front, and I happened to spot it and look at it. I'm like, are you serious? And for $60. Red Scroll Records, thank you guys. So there you go. So happy to get this. So I'm sorry it's a long video again. What do you want me to do? If you don't have time to watch this, what are you doing in the VC? For real. I've said it before, but for Christ's sake. 45 minutes, 44 minutes. Leave me comments. Thanks.